All right, guys. Today marks an important milestone for me. This female, right here, this is a hypo-Aztec. She is 9 years old. She is ovulating. Started yesterday. She's still ovulating today. And why this is a milestone is this is my first ovulation in my 40th season breeding boas. So I'm pretty excited about it. This female is the daughter of an Aztec that is a possible het carbon. That daughter was born in the same litter as the Aztec that Kenny Saito bred and produced the very first carbons. So this is exciting for me. So she is technically a possible het, because I never proved the mother to be a het carbon or not. But I've got these babies, and she'll be 9 years old this year, and I bred her with this bad boy. This is a hypolabby het carbon, 100% for those of you playing at home. And I'm pretty excited about that. So regardless, we will get possible het carbons, and hypolabby Aztecs will be sweet. Be very happy to get them. If I hit on the carbon, that'll be great. If I don't, that'll be fine. They will still be possible het carbon, so that will give them an edge, because as we all know, anything that carbon touches is beautiful. Carbon seems to brighten up anything that you breed it with, and just being het carbon is enough to make it pop a little bit more. What's interesting about this female, one of the things I wondered about is, unlike most Aztecs, she has a slightly pale mustache, so that mustache is not inky black, and her eyes are a little bit bright. So I just looked at these when I made them, and eventually when I was trying to figure out which ones might be het carbon, which ones aren't, I tried to find characteristics that would be a little bit unusual for them, and a slightly pale mustache and the bright eye is a little bit weird. So I'm hoping that she proves to be het carbon. But regardless, hypolabby Aztecs are going to be sweet, and they will all be pos het carbon. Look at that pink tongue on that puppy, huh? You don't see that except from albinos and labbies. Pretty sweet, huh? Happy about that. So I'm going to show you, take you around and show you a few other things happening here today. So I'm also pretty happy about this breeding going on. This is a Call Blood, and he is breeding a fire labby. She is 9 years old probably and has never bred, and this year looks like it'll be the year. She's very chunked out. That area in the back there is quite chunked out on her. She's always looking for a rat. And I think that she'll ovulate in the next 2 or 3 weeks, so stay tuned. I will show a video of that when that happens too, by the way. And he's very, very happy to be with her. And we made some labby double het blood calls 2 years ago now, almost 2 years ago. Some of those are out there. And maybe he'll become a grandfather this year. I've got some other breedings going on. I'll show you in just a second. This IMG, big honking IMG het anery. Very, very chunked out. Being bred by an anarthristic labby. And I anticipate this one ovulating sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks too. This is probably the chunkiest boa I have this year breeding. Hopefully she will make me a nice litter. The hypolabby that I just showed you with the really pink tongue, this is his dad. And this is a carbon produced by Kenny Saito, and he is het VPI, proven het VPI at this point, as he is the grandfather of the first Labby carbon, which Blake Gilliland made. And he's still working this Labby het VPI, hoping to make some, let's see, Labby VPI's het carbon from this bad boy. So we'll see. Excited about this one still. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of females that are developing egg follicles. The difference is pretty subtle. If you get a trained eye, you can pick up on this, especially as it relates to the normal shape of a female boa. Not so much. I'm not going to be able to describe so much on this particular animal, something to look for on yours, as to kind of think about the difference that's going to happen in your female compared to what she looked like before breeding season. So this female has had a lot of courtship on her. She is a Call Sunglow het blood, and she's breeding with a Hypo-Labby double het Call blood. And she's got a noticeable kind of thickening in the vicinity of where the ovaries are. The ovaries become distended, kind of spread out a little bit, and the female will get just a little bit softer looking than normal. Just a little bit squishy and spread out just a little bit. So it's the early stages. It's gonna be a month and a half, maybe 2 months before she ovulates, if she ovulates. But she has a little bit of that look, just slightly chunky as she progresses. And then right next door is a female Motley double het Call blood, and the same thing applies to this animal. So she's just got a little bit of a soft look, a little bit chunky in there, and it's more a difference in how she looked a month ago compared to how she looks now, rather than just looking at this as a snapshot of a specific animal. So you're not going to be able to send me a picture and say, is this one chunking up? Because I don't know what she looks like normally. I know what this one looks like normally. I know what her normal posture is, or sort of her normal shape. And there's a noticeable thickening here as she's developing egg follicles. And this one, just like the other female, has a Hypo-Labby double het Call blood. And she has a long way to go, another month and a half, 2 months probably, before she ovulates, if she ovulates. Okay, here's another thing I wanted to show. This is a female Jungle Sunglow Call, and she is being bred by a Hypo-IMG Labby het Call. And this is something that's true of females. When they're developing egg follicles, usually they will have that portion of the body where the egg follicles are, or oftentimes I should say, tucked behind the rest of the body. I just showed you two that wasn't the case on. But especially as it becomes closer and closer to the time to ovulate, she'll kind of tuck that portion of her body behind the rest of her body. And this female is really chunking out. The little guy is doing his duty, trying to make me some puppies. He's a handsome little guy, a little over 3 feet. She's got her body back in the back there, all kinds of swollen up. Probably be about a month before I see this female ovulate. Could be longer. This is a Sharp Sunglow het blood. She is being bred by a Labby double het blood Sharp. And this is something else I wanted to show. Is this happens a lot during breeding before ovulation, and then it goes away, and then sometimes happens in females right before they have babies, and that is you will sometimes see an increased number of urates being deposited by the female. I don't know what the reason for this is, but I do see it a lot. So there's a little urate, little urates. There's quite a few of them, little tiny ones. And I don't know if they're clearing the deck, make it easier for sperm to find their way into the oviduct. I don't know what the reason for this is. The urates are normal looking. They're not funky green urates like you get in an animal that's sick. And sometimes you get them and they smell like fish. When that happens, that's not a good sign either. That's kind of like the green urates. And some people may not ever smell that because you don't have a good nose, but I have a really good nose, so I smell these things. But at any rate, the frequent urates is something that you will see often in a female just prior to ovulation. I also see it sometimes in gravid females as they're closing in on their due date. They will have frequent urinations, and again, that maybe is just to keep the deck cleared because they're getting ready to drop the pre-birth waxy stool or the pre-birth waxy turd, and they just want to make sure that the deck is clean. I really don't know what the reason for that is, but at any rate, this is a sharp sunglow het blood. She is proven, and the male is a labyrinth double het blood, and hopefully together they'll make some hypo-labby sharp bloods, which are spectacular animals. So anyways, keep going there, little guy. Here's a pair I just thought I'd show since he's kind of displaying his handiwork here. Little guy. This is a hypo-labby het sharp. She's being bred by a Key West het sharp. Key West and maybe something else. We'll see. That's what I've got to prove. But he's definitely working her like a big boy. Now this is something else interesting I thought I would note. You get males that oftentimes, like the last male, are really, really aggressive, in courting and getting in the right position, exactly like you'd like to see them back and forth in S-curves over the female. And sometimes, this is a hypo-labyrinth at sharp. And sometimes, like this guy, this is a very, very young male. It's more common to see this with a older male. But he's just got one coil over her. Earlier, it was even less than this. He's got technically two coils over her. This is a sharp Aztec fire. And some males are just really lazy about breeding. They'll just throw one coil over the female's tail, get their vents aligned, scrape them with his spurs, trying to get the female to ovulate. And this has no impact on fecundity at all. A very, very lazy method can be just as effective as that male that's being very, very aggressive and doing everything you want him to do, textbook style. So this male is doing it very lazy. He just kicked in. He's been in for a month and a half. And he just kicked in like 2 days ago and starting to court this female. So I'm hoping for good things. A sharp, labby fire would be cool. Haven't made that one yet. So that's what we're going for with this. And Aztec would be icing on the cake. Here's a hypo-labby. Hypo-labby Key West Motley or some combination. It's kind of hard. It's impossible to tell on labbies. When you combine some of these other genes, they're pretty well masked. And this male is a Key West Motley and Raptor male. The one I call the Angolan boa just because he's very, very funky. Reminds me of Angolan ball pythons. Sorry, Angolan pythons, which are pretty closely related to ball pythons, but I don't think anybody's bred raptor with labby yet that I know of. Don't know what that combo is going to turn out like, but this guy has all kinds of paradoxy. Who knows what's going on? I mean, I know what he's got, but why it turned out like this exactly, I don't know. Just pretty cool. This is my anarthristic labyrinth and leucistic breeding. He has definitely been working her. Pretty sure he's been copulating based on his behavior. He's on and off. He is at least het anery and maybe a visual anery. We can't tell because he's all white, so super fire. So everything from this breeding will be fire, and at least half of them will be anarthristic. If he's anarthristic, then they'll all be anarthristic. Half of each group will be labyrinth as well because of her. She knows I'm here because she obviously sees the light and she feels the vibration from my voice. So she's looking around wondering, hey, what do you think you're doing in here? That little tiny guy has definitely been working her. So I'm pretty optimistic about this one. We'll see. Lots of time to go. A couple years ago, we made some really cool Paradise IMGs. So we should make some Paradise Sunglow IMGs with this pairing. This male is a sharp IMG. He is possible het anery. I think he is het anery, based on his overall color. But she's a beauty. Sunglow Paradise being bred by a sharp IMG. This is another cool pairing. This is a sharp Pastel Dream female and a male Key West het sharp, plus maybe something cool like the other one I just showed. I have to breed it to prove it out, but we'll see. This little guy was stuck in a terrible shed, really, really stuck, real crinkly looking skin. So when I fed last time, he did eat, and I had him set up in a tub, and I saturated the tub, just ran the hose and the water in the tub and got the aspen completely soaked. I had to get him to shed because I couldn't have him continue breeding as crinkly as he was, as dried out as he'd gotten, to make sure that he was capable of continuing on doing this. So I had him separated for about a week, put him back in, and he's right back on her, doing his thing. So we'll see. Got my fingers crossed on this one. Here's two of my possible het Bacano females, big girls. Male is working that one in the background. Here's the other one. Looking around, going through a pass-through, making this cage, 8 feet long in effect. Nice big girl. I love my Peruvians. Been breeding Peruvians for over 30 years. And the last one I'm going to show today is this Call Sunglow IMG Key West. She's proven, and she is breeding with a Call Sunglow IMG. He doesn't look like much from here, does he? But these could make some beautiful babies together, and a whole mess of combos, so I'm hoping that happens. I always love making call stuff. So anyways, I just wanted to show a few things today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click like, make a comment, and by the way, my boas are all that I have for sale are available on Morph Market, so you can check out Morph Market, see the animals that I have for sale. I do have written that I'm open to trades, but I'm not going to trade for any ball python no matter what it is. So don't ask. Actually, I had somebody wanted to trade me a monitor too. As much as I like monitors, I don't keep any monitors, and I'm not going to trade for a monitor. I don't do trades for stuff that I would just need to sell. I'm pretty much just looking for things that you think I might need, and things that I would agree that I need. So you can take a shot at me, but mostly I'm paying bills and supporting my habit, buying rats. So if you see something you like on Morph Market, feel free to text me or message me through the system. And thank you very much for watching. Have a good one.